Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of January 8th through the 14th of 2024. Alright, so this week we have a new moon on Thursday, so we are ending the current lunar month as we approach Thursday and starting the new one as we continue from there. So new moon in Sidereal Sagittarius. It's all about starting a new beginning with our more free-spirited side. How can we expand both our mental and literal horizons for the next lunar month? But it's important to end the energy of the current month as we approach that. So good to release, clear, end things as we do that. We'll have Mercury square Neptune at the beginning of the week, finalizing some perhaps long-term lessons since around late November, around more receptivity in our life and finding ways to have a little more presence or maybe spiritual understandings of things. But we do have the Sun trining Uranus early in the week as well, which can give us a bit of that free-spirited energy also, but here maybe quite innovative and maybe some new and different experiences can be nice there. And then towards the end of the week after the new moon, we'll have more of the fire energy with that new moon in Sagittarius, but also Mars trining up to Jupiter. So there can certainly be perhaps a bit of hopefulness and inspiration, but perhaps even some confidence, some assertiveness, and some of that initiative that could be quite supportive as well. All right, so let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here's the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for each day of the week, starting first with Monday, January 8th. And as you can see here, we are using the visible sky on this channel, which is very different from mainstream astrology. You won't see mainstream astrology using the visible sky because unfortunately they don't use it. So the sign placements are different. Like for example, you may have been expecting the new moon to be in Capricorn instead of Sagittarius. If that's the case, definitely check out the link down below for more information on using the visible sky called True Sidereal Astrology. All right, so let's do a little bit of a recap coming into this week. We still have a lot of the fire energy already going on with both the Sun and Mars now officially in Sagittarius here this week and was the case last week. So there is certainly that view of life at the moment that's about seeing things in perhaps a more expansive way. Sagittarius, the centaur, is all about viewing life through a more free-spirited lens and opening our horizons to perhaps possibilities and potentials and perhaps even adventurousness as well. So that's going to really be part of the new moon, and I would give it certainly time for that to unfold, probably more even into next week, since the new moon on Thursday of this week will be the lowest energy of the lunar month, and so it's typically good to, especially as we approach Thursday, let that energy die down. But certainly still viewing life through that free-spirited lens. And there is that deeper connection as well with both Mercury and Venus in Scorpio and Ophiuchus, the deeper part of the sky. Mercury is finishing his transit here up until Thursday. And this has really been about thinking about things perhaps in a deeper way in life and perhaps even communicating in a deeper way as well. And a lot of this can be quite healing and transformative. In fact, as Mercury does pass over the galactic center this early part of the week, this can be quite strong. The depth, the mind into the, real raw underworld, if you will, with the center of the Milky Way there. So this usually is the transformation point, and there can typically be a death and rebirth as a result of that. We've already had Mars involved with this, and Mercury has already been involved with this when he was retrograde, passing over here in the direct before that. So it's really a third and final contact, which does typically make it a little bit easier. However, this early part of the week, it is good to perhaps allow a bit of the death of the mind, the perspective, the ego, when we think about it in more of the mind sort of perspective, and being non-attached to the things we're thinking about, and to communication as well, as Mercury involves this. And this can allow for that death and rebirth and that transformative energy that we'll most certainly feel as we get into the later part of the week there. But our mind's still definitely in the underworld here with Mercury this week. And Venus in Scorpio shifting into Ophiuchus also around Thursday this week. adding to that deeper energy. Venus shows us the value and the things to be enjoyed here in the deeper world. And so it's a great time of connecting to life and our relationships in that deeper way as well. And so that's great to be connecting with also. But let's go ahead and break down the week one day at a time here, starting first with Monday, January 8th. As I said, Mercury will be squaring up to Neptune for the last and final time of this part of the year, this sort of yearly season with Mercury's cycle. And so he first squared up to Neptune back in November 27th to be exact of last year, so 2023, and December 27th of last year, 2023. So the past few months, basically. And so it's been good to really challenge ourselves to incorporate a little bit more receptivity in our day-to-day lives. And I think this is the final lesson of that, and what's usually the integration of that when we have the third and final contact with these types of energies. So how can we really think about life in a way that's still, intuitive and listening to our soul, listening to the more spiritual dimensions, and see if we can, flow with life in that way. It's a great time to, really connect to our soul or to our intuition in a way that is very practical, in a way that we're, again, embodying it on a day-to-day level. And so things like spiritual activities, things like, intuitive activities, creative activities, anything that uses our spiritual or imagination or soul in very practical and tangible ways is a great way of working with it. But I think fundamentally just having more of that receptive mind and receptiveness in the day-to-day activities is really what this is about. And again, I think it's going to be on the easier side since it's the last contact. So it's really about integrating and finalizing any sort of experiences or lessons that you may have had regarding this since around late November. Now, the moon will be in Scorpio and Ophiuchus these first couple days of the week, so Monday and Tuesday. In Scorpio on Monday, Ophiuchus on Tuesday. And so there's that deeper world really also getting activated these first couple days, bringing deep things to the surface. So it's great for personal healing, personal transformation, facing fears, personal empowerment, anything like that can be quite transformative for us. And again, Mercury over that galactic center will be adding to that as well. And not to mention, again, the ending of the lunar cycle, which is already a good time for more spiritual stuff anyways, and connecting a little bit more to the ethers, and again, doing a bit of a reset for the new beginnings, which will be around Thursday onwards. But we do have support here with the Sun and Uranus on Tuesday. The Sun will be trining Uranus, and so that can give us a sort of experience of wanting to get outside of the everyday routine of things and to start to maybe have some new and different experiences. So it's a great Tuesday and into Wednesday for a bit of this, listening to that part of ourself that wants freedom and excitement and new experiences. And this can give us a lot of support. So not only helping us have new experiences, but maybe also giving us a bit of an innovative view of life, which can give us new ideas, just new perspectives on things, very forward thinking with Uranus, very innovative. And again, just challenging the status quo a little bit to spark some new excitement. And there can be perhaps some exciting things, or again, it's just supportive to follow that excitement when the Sun is in a nice trine to Uranus like this. Mars is also in good harmony, although minor. It's nice to see that Mars sextile Saturn gives us perhaps what can be a sort of grounding energy, an energy that's willing to see the long road with things, and so it can make it good for productive things or things that require discipline or patience. Basically, Mars, our short-term drive, is in good harmony with Saturn, our long-term perspective. And so anything that combines the short-term and the long-term, from short-term goals to long-term goals, short-term desires to long-term desires, this can be a very good way of actually working with this ending of the lunar month here, these first few days of the week here. So then once we do start to get into Wednesday, we'll start to really feel the new moon energy, especially because the moon will shift into Sagittarius, gearing up for that new moon in Sag. And then, specifically on Thursday is the new beginning here. So it's always good to listen around new moons. It is the lowest energy of the lunar month. and a great time to start to plant new seeds. And that's essentially what we'll be doing for the remainder of the week into next week, is just planting new seeds, and it's really good to do so. It's great to treat it as a time to be flexible, to be adaptive, to see what new arises from life during the new beginning, but of course also to set those new intentions for the month. What can we set out to do that might be about expanding our horizons? Again, it could be mental through things we're hopeful about, inspired about, aspiring towards, but it can also be quite tangible in terms of adventure and free-spiritedness. Essentially expanding both our mental and literal horizons is great. Also typically a good time for more right brain activities like philosophy, spirituality, astrology, things of that sort, which Sagittarius is again more of the expansive elements there. Now with this, we do have a little bit of a support with Venus and Chiron, probably feeling quite healed now by this point, because although Venus still has to pass over Ophiuchus in the galactic center, by this point of the new moon, Mercury will have officially passed over the galactic center, again that transformative part of the sky, and starting to make his way into Sagittarius. So our minds are starting to get more into the ethers, again thinking more in the abstract world, more in the inspiring and expansive sort of world there, adding to that new moon energy. But Venus trining Chiron can help us perhaps feel a bit healed and a bit empowered, especially with our connections in life, whether it's connecting to life in general or our relationships, with that nice trine there. And Venus will be getting closer to Ophiuchus around this part of the week as well. So when it comes to our relationships, I think perhaps particularly the healing side of relationships will likely come up for the next roughly couple weeks here. And so how can we connect with others in a way that is not only willing to expose the deeper world like it's been with Scorpio, but to actually perhaps work with some of those things or work on those sorts of things and connect in that way that perhaps is healing and therapeutic for ourselves and the other person. All right, so that is the fresh new start. And then as we start to get into the weekend, again, slowly building momentum for the new lunar month, all geared around expansive Sagittarius. Mars will be trining up to Jupiter as we do that, which is nice. These are both fire energies, already very synergistic with each other, but they're also currently in fire signs at the moment. Again, Mars is in Sagittarius, where it's great to be putting some of that proactive energy towards expanding our horizons. But Jupiter is in Aries, Mars' sign, and also a fire sign as well. So it's a very good synergy here for the fire elements. Again, that free-spirited energy, but also I would say supporting Mars in the sense that Mars rules our confidence and our assertiveness and our goal-driven side, short-term goals. So anything that is what we want, what we need, what we desire, initiative, proactivity, assertiveness, all these things can be in good harmony, and perhaps just easier to do those sorts of things that are more initiating, more direct, more active in nature like that, when we have this, not only two fire signs in harmony, two fire planets in harmony, but when they're in fire signs as well. All right, so that's nice to see a bit of that, and again, good to channel any of that fire energy towards anything that we want to set it towards there into the weekend. Then as we get further in, so Friday, Saturday, the moon will be in Capricorn. There's still some themes around perhaps working on things, discipline, responsibility, maturity. These can be themes both Friday and Saturday, along with that fiery energy. And then on a minor note, the moon will shift into Aquarius on Sunday, which can place a little bit of a theme on more either collective matters or things that we're wanting to contribute to. So anything we want to contribute to, either personally in our own lives for our own future, and again, perhaps some of these aspirations, but also maybe to things involving friends, groups, or that kind of contribution can be great as well. But anything that is a bit forward thinking, a bit innovative, that progressive energy of Aquarius can be great to work with on Sunday. All right, everyone, so that's the week in a nutshell. A lot going on, but put simply is that on Thursday is the reset of the lunar month. It's now an expansive Sagittarius, whereas the previous lunar month was in Ophiuchus, which was much more of the deeper world. And so while it's still definitely a mix between the deeper world and the more expansive world, with the fast movers still, for the most part, combined in both of those parts of the sky, once we start the new moon on Thursday, it really is the new beginning to the more fiery, free-spirited, adventurous, and again, expanding our horizons energy that Sagittarius gives us. So it's good to do the clearing, the ending, the letting the energies die down as we approach that. We've already got some deeper energy Monday and Tuesday with the moon. We've got Mercury squaring Neptune for the last time, which is again practicing a bit of that receptivity. And then as we get into that new beginning, slowly building some new momentum as we get into the new lunar month. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're not yet signed up for MTZ Insiders, it is a free newsletter where we do get these videos released first before YouTube and extra content not normally released on YouTube. There's a link to sign up down below for that. But have a great one, everyone, and I'll see you all next time for the next astrology forecast. Take care.